Let's say I have an artist that I want to invite to the United States for my daughter's birthday party.
Oh, very fancy.
How
Yes.
how can I invite this artist?
If the artist has some sort of claim, you wouldn't invite the artist because the artist can't just, if the artist is coming to perform at your daughter's birthday party, the artist just can't come on a tourist visa and then perform because then they would be working illegally. So the only way artists come to the United States of America is either on an O visa, where you show they have extraordinary ability, and that's a little lower standard for singers and dancers and actors. It's you have to show recognition and acclaim. Or if they're a member of a group, you would do it as a P1. But you just can't just come and say, I'm going to send you a letter, go get a tourist visa to come perform, because then they would be working illegally. So you would have to do it as a work visa.
I am a visual artist and a professor. My work, in general, is embedded in history and what I call the politics of inclusion. So because that interest of mine, that has allowed me to tackle topics like race, migration, and so on. To convey these ideas, I go from drawing, painting, installation, animation, and everything. I am originally from the Dominican Republic, from Santo Domingo. I had the opportunity of going to a school. I never thought, that I was going to love New York. And the moment I came to this city, I fell in love. So here I am. I stay after. I live basically between Dominican Republic, New York. I am based in New York. So my American experience is definitely a chill for one.
You are from Mexico originally. Where in Mexico, and how long have you been in the States?
I am from Monterrey, Mexico, and I've been in the States for around 12 years, but mostly in New York for 9.
And really, what made you decide to use photography as your medium for this project?
Because the original Loteria game is an illustrated image, so I feel like it only made sense for me to do a still image. But also a photograph is timeless and it's contemporary, so I wanted to capture the Loteria of today. It was important for me to keep the essence of La Loteria Mexicana because it's our roots, it's where we come from. But it's not necessarily represented today of who we are today. We are human beings, we evolve. So what I wanted to capture is La Loteria Mexicana, our essence, with the voice of today's generation.
It's just been incredible being a part of this amazing festival that has just brought so many incredible artists together.
You are originally a Cali girl, and you moved to Mexico City with your parents when you were 4 years old.
My parents immigrated when I was 4, and I started kindergarten. I started singing rancheras, and I didn't speak a word of Spanish at the time. I went from there and everything. I've just always felt Mexican.
They asked me to rush, come to New York before the travel ban. And when I arrived, I started hear from people live in New York how much horrible that travel ban against me and other country. Actually, I felt the impact from the travel ban after a couple months when my lawyer asked me to now time to change the visa. In that time, I had J1 visa and I have to change the visa. And he suggests you have 2 choices, or asylum file, and I said no. And he said the other choice is the O1 visa.
Did you change to an O1 visa?
I did.
And what does your work melting represent?
I started this one when I applied for my green card because you know how much it's a long-term process. I'm saying that this character or waiting make everything melting. The only thing it's still obvious, it's the open eye. And I came the idea because when I applied for my green card, I was asking myself, who is the guy who will decide that I don't know where he is or she is, whether Rush one will get the green card or not.
Do you have a green card now?
Now I have a green card. I just got my green card under the category people with extraordinary ability.
I was born under communism in 85. And I was born in Bulgaria. I grew up around music. My dad was a Russian composer. So there was always music in the house. I was listening to his songs.
You started when you were 6.
Yes. I feel very fortunate with my life right now. Musicians, I think they're improving their whole lives. You're always learning constantly, even when you're long out of school. So just by playing concerts and playing with your colleagues. So you're always learning. But I feel very fortunate with where I am now.
I was born in Kumasi, Ghana. Immigrated to Greensboro, North Carolina when I was about 3 years old. At the time, my dad was trading commodities in and out of the US and Ghana, so we were staying with an uncle of mine that lived in Monrovia. And while we were staying with him, the onset of the Liberian Civil War began. So when we started getting the inklings of a possibility of war, we decided to immigrate before anything got too drastic in which we couldn't leave.
DACA came in 2012. Where were you in your career?
So once I got it is when I actually got the opportunity to go to LA. So they kind of just coincided beautifully with just timing wise. Like I literally got my DACA and about 2 months later I was in LA.
You eventually connected with Beyonce. You made 2 songs on the project, Don't Jealous Me and Water. And you actually performed the song and are in the movie for Don't Jealous Me.
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort. I say it all the time, like, wow, like Beyonce's singing words I wrote.
Rima Makaryan is an Armenian-American artist and 18-year-old immigrant rights activist. Her art and her work spans from California all the way to Armenia.
A lot of the villages in Armenia and, where these displaced people are living have zero access to any kinds of arts education. And so we'll be sending kits to Armenia, little art kits, along with video tutorials to teach them how to paint monarch butterflies and other things like that, to make sure that everyone has access to arts education, even remote villages in the middle of nowhere.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.